Hello everybody, been quite a while since I've done a video. In fact, I get the impression this might be the first one this year. It's just ridiculous how quickly it goes. I mean, what, mid-April already? It's just a joke. But yeah, I've not been doing too bad really. Plodding along kind of thing. Hope everybody else is okay. Miniatures wise, I've drifted back to Napoleonics. Well, I've drifted back to 2 or 3, 4 different things at the minute. But yeah, I took an interest in Napoleonics again. I'm not quite sure what sparked it off, but I think it was my mate Paul started buying some 28mm, which he doesn't normally. So I started looking at mine, and my biggest collection of Napoleonics is Russian, so I thought I'd go back to those. And I do like cavalry, so I started with some cavalry. I've picked out brigades from Borodino. Obviously massive battle. I'm not gonna recreate that in any scale, let alone 28mm. But I've just picked out some brigades I like the look of, and this is one of them. These are actually Russian Life Guard dragoons. Yeah, nice. These are from the Perry Plastic Allied cavalry figure set. Lovely figures. I just started painting chestnuts with no regard to, horse colours or anything. I started looking into a bit of info on horse colours because I know the French were quite particular where they could be. I suppose once you're on campaign you had to get what you could, but it turned out the Russians weren't so particular about what horse colours they had, apart from guard regiments where they did try to kind of adhere to a different colours. And I think I just had the Foundry chestnut triad sitting in front of me, so I thought I'll just start painting chestnuts. It turns out that they would be a second squadron. I believe it's first squadron is bays, second is chestnuts. I think the third is light bays, and the fourth is either greys or blacks. I think. I believe they tried to keep to the kind of template of greys for musicians. So yeah, I'm going to do like squadrons of 12. I'm attempting. This is actually, I mean, they're these three are using the Foundry Chestnut Triad. This is using 2 colours from their bay, their bay triad. So I was tempting to do liver chestnut, which are obviously darker colour chestnuts, rather than having them all the same. So I think I'll stick with that. I was going to do, like, say, just turn around so you can see the gear a bit better. Yeah, I think I'll probably do like 3 of each. Is that right? 4 of each. Yeah, I think I'll do 4 of each. Got a standard chestnut, liver chestnut, and then I'm trying this one as an alternative to a chestnut. So I'm thinking I'll do like 4 of each of them. Well, it won't be quite 4 because one's going to be a grey for the musician. That I've used Vallejo Flat Earth, and I think it looks chestnutty, like a golden chestnut, I suppose. So I'm going to go for something like that, I think. So yeah, that's part way through then a squadron of Russian Life Guard dragoons. Enjoying painting these. The green uniforms I've used another Foundry triad. They're French Chasseurs Cheval green, so you get like a shade, mid tone and a light tone. It's worked quite well for these. I think it looks pretty accurate from uniform plates I've seen. So yeah, that's part of a squadron done. Haven't done the bases yet. As this chap, there's another cavalry brigade I was looking at, and they were a Cuirassier division, Russian again, but there are no plastic Russian. Bit of paint come off there. There's no plastic Russian Cuirassiers, so what I've done is use the horses from the Russian cavalry set, the bodies from the Austrian cavalry set, using the Cuirassier torso, and then put a Russian dragoon head on it. So this is to represent the Chevalier Guard. There's going to be two regiments I was going to be doing, Chevalier Guard and Horse Dragoon. No, Horse Guard Cuirassiers. I believe I've written it on there. Yeah. Chevalier Guard. And they both look pretty similar, as in uniform. I think they've just got different horse coverings, the two Cuirassier regiments, but it looks accurate enough to me. Like I say, I've just used the bodies from the Austrian cavalry set, given this guy a gun, carbine, because generally they don't have them, but I read that flankers have them, so I was thinking like two on either kind of wing would have these guns, the rest will just not have them. But yeah, I mean, for money saving perspective, it's, you know, rather than having to pay out for metal, which would be really expensive, quite happy with the way these come out as a little kind of kit bash idea. I just randomly painted them on a black horse because I was just thinking that before I looked into the information, I was just going by like, you know, the French. I think they tended to have like black horses for their heavy cavalry, so I just thought I'll do black horse. But it turns out it should be dark bay, although I suppose it could be like 4th Squadron. So yeah, quite happy with how these come out. Means I've got horses left over from the Austrian set, but I'll find a use for them. I'm going to cobble together parts from Austrian Hussar and cavalry sets, and I'll come up with something so they won't be wasted. That's him. And then Russian Lifeguard Dragoon, Ulan, Russian Lifeguard Ulan. Again, this is from the Perry Ulan box set. There we are, Russian Lifeguard Ulan. All the bases I'm going to do like this, so I'm basically going to do the standard kind of ground cover we'll do, and then I'm going to put a bit of snow on top of it because it's in Russia. And I think there was a bit of snow around about the time Borodino and the aftermath was going on. Yeah, lovely figures again. Really like these. For some reason, this Ulan seemed quicker to paint than the Dragoons were. But yeah, really like them. Really enjoyed it. I mean, a lot of people can't stand doing cavalry, but I love doing them. So I'm happy so far. The pennant is from Maverick Models. I bought a few flags as well because I think like the 1st Squadron carries like the banner, the cavalry, the regiment flag. So I've got that for the Dragoons and the Cuirassiers. And yeah, I bought pennants obviously for all the Ulans. So yeah, enjoying that. The information I'm getting for the actual units compositions from this book that I picked up. I'll stick it right out here for a minute. You can see that just about, can't you? Yeah, Borodino Armies of 1812. This is basically a pictorial army list. It's really handy, the amount of information in it is fantastic. I've bookmarked one of the brigades I'm doing. So it's that. So it lists, it's a bit awkward, as in it's a portrait cover book, but everything's in landscape format. But that's basically part of that regiment I'm doing. I've showed you there for the Dragoons and the Uhlans. It tells you like numbers and everything. Really handy. So Cossacks, I haven't got any possibility of doing any plastic conversions there. I'm going to have to buy all metals for that, I'm afraid, but just have to do it. Hussars, I have already put together a squadron of Hussars, and I've used Austrian Hussars and just basically put Russian heads on them. Thing about that is the horse furniture is different. They got the Austrian Hussars got the sheepskin kind of cover, which the Russians didn't have. My only other option is to put them on these horses, but then you don't have the kind of pointy, shabrak it's called, isn't it, the horse cover, because it comes right down to where my thumbnail is basically on Hussars. So I would have to meddle around, put in, you know, some sort of green stuff addition there, which I'm not sure I can be asked to do. So I'm thinking I'm just going to lump it with the they just have to have the inaccurate sheepskin cover, but hey, I don't want to keep my undercarriage warm if I was in Russia fighting in the snow. So yeah, this is a good book, this. I mean, it's a fair price, about 30 quid I've got to say, but the information in it is amazing. If you want to get, you know, specific numbers of stuff of troops in battles, I mean, and there's a whole series of these. That's who it is, Henry Dwan. They've got Leipzig. They've got Peninsular ones. Yeah, good. So I'll probably get a few more at some point in the future, but at the moment this is obviously plenty to be getting on with, because yeah, there's all this. There's just reams and reams of it. But, you know, really handy, and you can just about make out what uniform colours you're meant to be doing as well. That's the only thing. Maybe if you looked in a magnifying glass you'd see it better, I suppose. But you can generally tell even, you know, what uniforms you're meant to be going for. So and it's handy for things like this, the pennants, knowing what pennants to put on Uhlans, for instance. So yeah, decent book that. One more thing I'm kind of dabbling in at the moment. Seems to be a resurgence in samurai. I'm assuming it's something to do with Shogun being on, which I've not watched yet. I've had these are Perry metals. I've had them for years. I've actually took them out twice and then put them back, thinking, no, I can't paint those because they just look so complicated, and I've given up. But my mate Paul, Cat Roger, he's been gibbering on about samurai and feudal Japan, and he started buying some of the Warlord plastics. So I thought I'd get these out again. I've had them undercoated for, I must have bought them about 6 years ago at least, and they've sat there undercoated. Like I say, took them out a couple of times and put them back because I just thought, no, can't paint these. But I thought I'd have a go, and turned out I'm quite happy with the results now. You know, all this lace and stuff, it's not actually as bad as you think once you start getting on with it. I can't even remember what the name of this clan is. Paul just randomly sent me a picture of these in this colour scheme, this uniform. Basically dark blue clothing and, you know, black armour with orange lace and highlights and kind of sashes and that kind of thing. Bit of white lace, bit of kind of yellowish lace. But I cannot remember the name of this clan. But I like the look of it, so I thought I'll go with that. Happy they're turning out. I don't know what, I've got no real plan for them, to be honest. At the moment, I'm just, it was more like a exercise in seeing if I could actually paint them to begin with. So now it's, yeah, I'm going to paint a few Ashigaru in the same scheme, see how they come out. And then it's, you know, after that I don't really know what I'm doing with them. No real plan. I just kind of like painting them, really. I'm hoping to get some of the Fireforge sets, definitely get the cavalry. I've got quite a lot of these Perry ones. I've got, must have 25-30 packs of Perrys. But what I'm thinking is, I like the look of the Fireforge ones, but I don't like the, well, it's not that I don't like, but they've got, the Ashigaru have got, obviously, the long, really long plastic, almost pikes. And, you know, plastic pikes and spears, just too fragile. I mean, this Ulan, by the way, I'll replace that with a metal wire, with a wire spear. The Ashigaru, though, their spear, called a Yari, looks too distinctive to just, you know, stick one of them in the hands instead. So I'm going to go with the Perry ones, which have got, I mean, they're soft metal Yaris, but they work. And they're also not as long as the Fireforge ones. They're more standard spear size, whereas the Fireforge ones really are like pikes. So what I'm thinking is I will, whatever I end up doing with these, I'll stick with the metal Perry Ashigarus, but get Fireforge cavalry probably, and the shooters, you know, the bowmen, the archers and the gunners. Probably buy them from Fireforge. But yeah, until I've got a real idea of what I'm doing, they're pretty much just going to be a paint a few when I fancy it, I think. Haven't got any rules, I've got no idea about feudal Japan. Haven't the faintest idea about the history, what, you know, who fought who, what they were fighting about, who was, you know, organisation of the armies. I know absolutely nothing about feudal Japan apart from I like the look of it. So you know, until I've got some more idea, yeah, it'll just be like pick some out now and again and paint them. Yeah, so at the moment it's, yeah, Napoleonic Russians. These. I'm also doing Hastings, so started putting loads of Normans together. I haven't got anywhere with painting of those, that's just like the assembly phase at the minute. And I'm also, I'll just show you, took an interest in one of my other absolute favourites again, because I bought this book. Yeah, I just bought that a week or two ago. So that's got me interested in Wars of the Roses again. So I think they're coming out as well. And I've got one of the scenario PDFs from Test of Resolve, which has got some of the battles that I'm interested in doing. I'm quite keen on snow-themed bases at the minute, so I've picked out Towton. I'm going to have a go at Towton, and there's obviously like a skirmish, well, a smaller battle before at Ferrybridge. There's a few fought in the winter on Wars of the Roses. So yeah, they're what I'm thinking. I've got quite a lot of Wars of the Roses figures. Bought loads of Perry stuff and got quite a few packs of Old Glory as well. But yeah, I'm going to buy a few more boxes of Perry's. So, and I also want to do St Albans, but because I love St Albans, used to go there every month. Thing is, that's, I don't know, 28mm scale. 28mm scale be a bit problematic, you know, doing all those buildings and stuff. It's going to take up a massive amount of room. Plus, you have to take into account my lack of modelling skills. But I don't know, I'm dabbling with maybe doing that in a smaller scale, you know, Callistra 12mm. Possibly. Thing is, I always start doing small scale paintings and then give up on them and drift off back to 28mm. So I don't know. At the moment, though, it's most likely going to be Towton, Ferry Bridge. Obviously, got to do Bosworth. So that would require like two lots of figures, because they'll all be based differently. You know, one lot will have snow, and the other will be basic green English fields. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. Also still interested in this old Boer War. That's what I was doing last time. I keep looking at those figures that I'm part way through painting, but I can never focus on one thing. But yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, going to push on with just you know, meddle along with the several things I'm doing. Enjoying the cavalry though. I like doing the Russians there. Nice figures to paint. Yeah, just going to push on with those. See how it goes. But thanks to anyone who still happens to be watching, because my videos are that infrequent. And anyone who's still subscribing. Yeah, until next time, take care everybody. See you soon, hopefully.